All right, let's talk about bulking. You hear that word, and for a lot of people, it's all about getting huge and fast. But here's the thing, there's a right way and a very, very wrong way to do it. Today, we're cutting through all the bro science to give you the actual science-backed game plan to pack on as much muscle as possible while keeping that unwanted fat gain to an absolute minimum.
So let's just get this out of the way immediately. Is bulking a green light to just dive headfirst into pizza, ice cream, and whatever junk food you can get your hands on? You know, the seafood diet? The short answer is a hard no. That's probably the biggest myth out there, and frankly, it's what stops people from making real quality gains. In reality, you've got two main paths, the dirty bulk and the clean bulk. The dirty bulk is that chaotic, free-for-all approach. And sure, the number on the scale will shoot up fast, but a huge chunk of that is just going to be body fat. Plus, it can lead to some pretty serious health issues. The clean bulk, though, that's the smart approach. It's calculated, it's scientific. We're talking controlled quality gains, minimal fat, and a process that's actually sustainable and healthy. And that's exactly what we're focusing on today.
So here's our roadmap for doing this the right way. First, we're going to separate myth from reality. Then we'll cover a really important question. Are you even ready to bulk? From there, we'll dive deep into the blueprints for nutrition and training. And finally, we'll talk about mastering the process and which supplements are actually worth considering.
Okay, let's jump right in with section 1. Before we even think about a single calorie or workout, we need to be crystal clear on what we're actually trying to achieve. Let's get a real definition for this. Pay attention to the two most important words here, controlled and minimizing. This tells you right away that a proper bulk isn't about getting bigger at all costs. It is a dedicated phase where you are intentionally eating more calories than your body burns, but you're doing it strategically. That surplus gives you the fuel for growth, and the intense training gives your body the reason to grow. The entire goal is to tip the scales heavily in favor of muscle, not fat. Now for section 2. And honestly, this might be the most important question you ask yourself. Are you actually in the right condition to start a bulk? So many people skip this step, and it's the #1 reason why bulks fail and just lead to a bunch of unnecessary fat gain. Your starting point is everything. So here are the benchmarks. For men, you ideally want to start your bulk when you're below 20% body fat. For women, it's below 25%. Now, why is this so crucial? It's all about something called nutrient partitioning. Basically, when you're leaner, your body is much more efficient at taking those extra calories and shuttling them to your muscles to be used for growth. If you start at a higher body fat percentage, your body is already primed to just store those extra calories as more fat. So the rule is simple. Get lean first, then build. All right, on to the engine that drives this whole process, nutrition. This is where the magic happens. You can have the most perfect training plan in the world, but if your diet isn't dialed in, you're just spinning your wheels. You cannot outtrain a poorly planned diet, especially when you're trying to build muscle. So where do we start with the numbers? Don't worry, it's a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, we find your baseline metabolism, your BMR. Then, we figure out your total daily energy needs, or TDE. From there, we add our smart, controlled surplus. And finally, we break all those calories down into our building blocks, protein, carbs, and fats. And this number right here is the key. For step 3, you only want to add a surplus of 250 to 500 calories above your maintenance level. I know, it's tempting to go higher for faster gains, but this is the evidence-based sweet spot. It's just enough extra energy to fuel muscle growth and hard training without spilling over into excessive fat storage. Start on the lower end, track your progress, and only increase if you need to. So let's see how this looks in the real world. Take a 70 kilogram, that's about 154 pound, athlete on 3,000 calories a day. We'd set protein right around 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, so 140 grams. That's non-negotiable for muscle repair. Then we set fats to about 25% of total calories for hormone health, and the rest of those calories, a big chunk of them, come from carbohydrates to fuel those tough workouts. And where you get these macros from is just as important as the numbers themselves. This is the heart of clean bulking. We want lean proteins, complex carbs that provide sustained energy, and healthy fats from natural sources. These foods aren't just calories, they're packed with the micronutrients your body needs to actually perform and recover at its best. All right, your nutrition is set. You're giving your body all the building blocks it needs. Now, we have to give your body a powerful reason to actually use those blocks to build new muscle. And that reason, my friends, comes from the gym. This right here,
This is the single most important training principle there is for muscle growth. Progressive overload. Your body is an adaptation machine. It will not change unless you force it to. You have to consistently increase the challenge, whether that's lifting more weight or doing more reps. If you're not getting stronger over time, you are not growing. It's that simple. And the most efficient way to apply progressive overload is by focusing on the big, multi-joint movements. Compound exercises recruit tons of muscle at once, which lets you move the most weight, create the most metabolic stress, and trigger the biggest possible growth response from your body. They are the biggest bang for your buck, period.
These 6 movements should be the absolute foundation of your bulking program. You've got your squat and deadlift for total body strength, the bench press and overhead press for your upper body pushing muscles, and the bent over row and pull-ups for a thick, wide back. Focus your energy on getting progressively stronger on these lifts, and the growth will follow.
So you've got your nutrition and training blueprints. But a successful bulk isn't just about starting strong. It's about managing the entire process over the long haul. Let's talk about tracking, patience, and what comes next. Here is a simple but powerful tip that will save you a lot of stress. Stop obsessing over the daily scale. Your weight is going to fluctuate like crazy day to day because of water, sodium, all kinds of things. Instead, weigh yourself just once a week, first thing in the morning, under the same conditions. Track the weekly average. That gives you a much truer picture of your progress. And that brings us to the bigger picture. You have to remember that bulking isn't a permanent state. It's just one phase in a much larger cycle. You might bulk for anywhere from 4 months to a year to build that new muscle. Then you'll probably transition to a short maintenance phase to let your body stabilize. And after that, you'll enter a cutting phase to shed the little bit of fat you gained and reveal all that new muscle underneath. And finally, let's touch on supplements. Let me be perfectly clear about this. Supplements are supplemental. They are not magic. They're tools that can support an already solid nutrition and training plan, but they will never, ever replace it. If you are going to spend your money, these are the 4 with the most research behind them. Protein powder is simply a convenient way to hit your protein goals. Creatine monohydrate is probably the most studied supplement on the planet. It's proven to boost strength. A gainer can be helpful if you're someone who really struggles to eat enough food. And a pre-workout, well, that can help you get fired up and push harder in the gym. So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. A successful bulk is the exact opposite of a free-for-all. It is a game of precision and consistency. It's about a controlled calorie surplus, focusing on nutrient-dense foods, and a relentless dedication to getting stronger in the gym. And that is your scientific guide to bulking. Remember, science is constantly evolving. To not miss the next scientific analysis and protocol, don't forget to turn on notifications and subscribe. See you in the next video. And now, we want to hear from you. What topic should we break down next? Whether it's the science of cutting, a deep dive into hypertrophy, or something else entirely, let us know in the comments. Let's meet there.